Ladies and gentlemen, this is still Steve Leibowitz, and I'll be joined now by W. Rabinowitz.
Hey, Steve.
The legendary W. Rabinowitz.
Nothing bad, I hope.
We've got a great war on hand this game. Don't leave your seats. This is going to be a war. We've got one of the best teams in Europe, two of the best teams in Europe, facing off for a spot in the Final Four. Austria finished with a record of 3-1-1. 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. They were just nudged out by Israel by a Hail Mary pass in the last second to be knocked out of that first spot. Italy lost its first 2 games of the tournament, came roaring back with 3 victories to make it into the wild card game. This could go either way. Italy has a long history. It's an older team, but a very, very talented group. They've been at every tournament I've ever been to. We're talking about 15 years of competition. A lot of the players are the same guys. Some of them literally have been playing this game for 20 years together. So some would say they need some new, young, fresh legs. On the other hand, they've got all the experience. The Austrians took the gold medal 2 years ago in Madrid, but this is a united championship of the IFAF, so it's tougher for them this time, but they are still in the running. Nearly took first place in their group, and now they have to beat Italy to get to the Final Four. And I just want to say one more thing. I had the honor of being stuck in an elevator for 30 minutes with 10 members of the Austrian team yesterday. 30 minutes together with me in Austria in order to lighten up the mood. I took out my phone and I said, let's pass the time by watching the Israeli Hail Mary pass. That got a laugh, and then I suggested that we talk about Austrian Jewish history, but that also didn't go over very well, so we waited it out, finally got ourselves out of the elevator. Maybe it wasn't diplomatically correct, but I was just trying to keep myself from... Don't forget, you get to vote for the MVP later in the game. It's going to be posted, and you have live Facebook broadcast, all of the commentary, all of the other social media stuff that exists out there. It's all going on for this game. And, Dovey, what do you think? What do you think we've got today?
Well, I don't know what you did in that elevator, Steve, but the Austrian team, I've rarely seen a team as pumped up as this team. They're flying out of their cleats. I spoke with players before the game. I was trying to get some insight. I asked them what to expect. They said, expect bodies flying into your broadcast tent.
It could be. There are 2 teams that are – this is a non-contact sport, Dovey. These are the 2 teams that really
Allegedly.
Press it to the limit.
Sure.
These are I would call this 2 of the toughest teams physically in this tournament. Big, tough, experienced. This is going to be a war. And I would say it's going to be a high-scoring war. You're not going to see as much defense as you're going to see offense. I would say score is going to end up somewhere in the 30s. My over and under, Dovey, would be 60 for this game. 60 points. We could have that up on Facebook as a poll, too, with vote on your over-under on 60 points for this game. But I don't know if we're set up for that. I think we're going to stick with the MVP thing. And as we call out the names and you see who catches the passes and makes the picks and all the rest, you can start to vote.
Although, Steve, when you talk about this sort of a physical game and these pumped-up teams,
the refs, though, are very strict. So
yes, I was going to say, if the refs let them get away with it, I would take the under. But that we should see probably early on, the refs dictating how much leeway there is.
Not much leeway. They call, and I think that they're going to make some early calls, Dovey, because they want to set the tone early that this is a non-contact sport. And if a receiver is bumped, you're gonna see a call. And we're ready to start.
Here's the first play from scrimmage.
And Italy starts with the ball. First down and a short pass to Bowman. And a short gain from...
Out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
That was number 23.
At the 7-yard line.
Number 23, Jordan Boa. Looks like Radka is the quarterback. Radka looks back, and completes it. And there is a quick pull. Mark Slyman
just short of the first down.
So it'll be 3rd and 1. Good situation for Israel. Yeah. Schmidman and Ortega were tied in the viewers' MVP poll in the last game. So remember the last game that you saw?
There's a first down.
Schmidman and Ortega tied in the vote. What was the vote? It was in the thousands? We're not going to give the actual numbers because we don't have them. The tally is still being computed.
A few hanging chads there.
Somewhere in social media land. It'll be, I think that down marker is incorrect. We're at first down. The down marker said 4th. Now it's been corrected. And we have first down.
Good call, Steve.
Zakrata with a bullet of a pass to number 19. Gianluca Sant'Agostino. I hope they don't throw to him too much. It's a tough name. Sant'Agostino with the reception.
And so far, this Italian offense has been extremely efficient.
Zakrata has a bullet of an arm. He's a big guy, too. You can't really block any of his passes. He stands back and just zips it. Looks like Radka waiting for the snap. He's got second down. And it's a touchdown. The number 23, Jordan Boa. And Italy is taking the lead 6-0. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the first of many points that are going to be scored in this game. Already 6-0 on the first drive. 4 plays and a score. We've got the extra point coming up. And remember, those extra points are crucial. As we saw in that last game when Israel could have tied the game at one point but missed the extra point, that extra point is often the difference. Zakrata looks towards the end zone, back of the end zone. Almost a great catch, but it falls free. No extra point, and it's 6-0. That is a big stop for Austria because, like I said, those extra points will come back and haunt you. If you can't make them regularly, it's a huge disadvantage.
And there's some really good coverage by the Austrian team. And, folks, if you are not entirely satisfied with Steve's pronunciation of some of these names, feel free to comment on the Facebook feed on social media, and we'll try to set him straight.
Daniel Kindle waiting for his first snap from center. And it's incomplete. It's dropped by a number. I didn't catch his number. When he turns around, I will. Number 83, Philip Harm. A stop here is at any point in a man's flag football game, any stop is huge. There aren't that many stops during the course of a game, generally speaking. And there's a short pass to number 37, Daniel Hachleitner. We'll have 3rd and about 15. Daniel Kindle waiting for the snap. 3rd down play. And it's blocked up into the air. And it'll now be 4th and long for Austria. This is already a crisis for Austria because, like I said, if you don't score and you give Italy a chance to go up by 2 scores, it's a huge advantage, even this early in the game.
And you can see that in that 3rd and long situation, Austria opted to send most of their receivers really deep, going for the first down on that play, taking 2 shots at the first down rather than trying to move the chain slowly, as they say.
Well, they've got to do it now. Italy's waiting back on the midfield on the first down marker. Even if it would have caught, the ball was not caught, but even if it had been, it was short of the first down. Ball goes over to Italy.
And again, good coverage by Italy.
We're going to have Dovey with some commentary while I put on a suntan screen. Lotion.
And while Steve works on his beautiful tan, we'll watch Italy try to really put themselves in the driver's seat here if they can keep their offense clicking as they did on the first drive. Going long, and that's good.
Saborn, touchdown. Touchdown, Italy.
And you can see the Austrian defense, after being beaten on short, medium routes over and over on the first drive, kind of bit a little bit on that hitch.
That was Jordan Boa. Jordan Boa with that touchdown. We haven't yet, I don't know if we've begun the MVP voting, but that Jordan Boa is going to probably be a candidate. His name is being called a lot, and that was a key touchdown. They're now up 12-0, Italy. Kadka. Again, once again, to Jordan Boa from Luke Zaradka. And it's now 13-0 for Italy.
And that poise in the pocket. A lot of quarterbacks are described as poised, even unflappable, but Zaradka, Billy Zabka Zaradka, sits there literally with an open notebook seconds before the snap.
There was actually a crisis on, I think, the second day of competition on Friday when the Italians lost one of their playbooks, and they were afraid that it was going to fall into enemy hands. Plus, they might not have enough for their team. But they're the only team that they pull out a whole playbook.
A notebook, flipping pages, binders. They've got tabs and color-coded and Post-it notes in there.
Real high-tech setup for Italy. Well, it's working for them right now. Austria needs some momentum. They need to get moving. There's number 37. He steps out of bounds after a short reception. Daniel Hachleitner. Hachleitner with a 7-yard gain.
And Steve, you weren't able to pilfer anything in the elevator there?
Well,
from the Austrian team, that is.
All of us were just trying to avoid panic setting in as we were standing literally nose to nose for 30 minutes trying to keep ourselves calm and wondering whether we were ever going to be rescued.
Lee Woods would neither confirm nor deny the accusations.
A long pass toward number 37. Caught for a touchdown in the end zone. I think he was also tackled. I would have thrown a flag. There, the flag comes in. Good call on the flag, which means they're also going to get half the distance to the goal on the extra point, which is
and
huge.
And the coverage is good.
That was
just
Daniel Hachleitner.
Very well executed. Long bomb.
Daniel Hachleitner with the touchdown, and it's now 13-6. Austria needed that desperately, and they got it. And now, because of that tackle in the end zone, I expect that they're also going to get a shot at a two-point conversion from the normal 1-point spot. In other words, because of the penalty, the ball is moved on the next play, and now they're only 2.5 yards out in order to try to punch in 2 points. I think they're going for 2. I'm not sure. Dovey, did you catch if they're going for 2 or 1?
I actually did not.
I think this is a 2-pointer.
They got it.
Wide open to number 83, Philip Harm.
And the Austrian bench really comes alive again.
So 1 or 2. Ref!
That was 2 points.
Yes, and we are confirmed that was a 2-pointer. So we're talking about 13-8.
So that penalty on the touchdown, instead of being meaningless, actually turns out to be extremely meaningful.
Sure, because you're going for a 2-pointer from the normal 1-point spot. You know, it's a huge advantage. And Italy is. I don't think he's had an incomplete pass yet today. We're talking
throwing
about
a perfect game.
A superb performance by Luke Zachrada thus far. But you can't let your guard down. As you see, Austria is quite capable of scoring very quickly. There's a long pass to Rossi. He was open momentarily, but the ball was thrown beyond his reach.
I would say that was a receiver being a little bit too open for a step there, and he turned to face the quarterback. Ball sailed over his head. Very few lapses by either of these defenses, and when you're a receiver and you suddenly find yourself open, even by a step and a half, sometimes you're not quite sure what to do with yourself.
Italy needs a gain here. They don't have to get the whole first down. They need to get some of it. There's the ball all the way downfield towards Simon. He catches the ball behind the defense for a touchdown. Confusion in the Austrian defense. Number 2, Mark Simon, comes from nowhere, grabs the ball behind the defenders.
You'll see almost no one open over the middle of the field in short or medium range, and almost out of desperation, sends this bomb, and it works.
So we're now at 19-8. My over-under is looking pretty good this early in the game.
Looking pretty good.
And here we're looking for the conversion. And wide open, number 19, Gianluca Sant'Agostina. The name
Bit of a size mismatch there.
Size mismatch. It's now 20-8. 20-8. Well, that puts pressure back on the Austrian offense. And the ball is complete. Number 82, before he steps out of bounds, short of the first down.
Picks up some decent yardage after the catch.
And we have a penalty call against Italy, so against Austria, so that ball is going back. We'll still have first down, but now from the 2-yard line. A lot of pressure for the quarterback who's going to be throwing out of his own end zone, deep in his own end zone. You got to avoid a sack now. Austria looking deep. Bit overthrown. There was some contact, no call. They were both running pretty much shoulder to shoulder, a little bit of jostling, but no call of a penalty. And we're going to have second down from their own 2.
This is really a bit of a hole for Austria.
They're in a hole. They're down by 12 points. They don't want to give up the ball and let Italy try for another score before halftime, but it's not looking so smooth for Italy right now, for Austria.
That might be a penalty.
For an opening, close to a sack in the end zone, and a pull right there at the 10-yard line.
I believe it's going to be blocking the rusher.
Blocking the rusher or a pass interference, one or the other. Yeah, we have a call against the Italian defense. That'll be an automatic first down, 10 yards. Well, that's a huge.
That's huge.
Huge for Austria, which will now have first down and an opportunity to get another first down. It's like 1st and 5 right now.
So, Steve, I know you always say in this situation, take some shots downfield. You've got some free shots.
Perfect shot downfield. You can always come back and try to get the first down on 3rd or 4th down if you need it. 2 shots to go towards, to go deep behind the defenders. And he does look deep towards the end zone, number 37, but it's knocked away at the last second by number 36, Flavio Piccini for
Piccini
Italy.
Very wisely was expecting that. He was really, from the snap, he was backpedaling pretty hard. So he was in position to make that play. I know it looked like he came swooping in the last second. He did, but he timed it well, and he was ready for that.
Sure, Italy knew that they were likely going to go deep. It's still a long way from getting out of this drive. It's still 2nd and short for Austria. Here's the 2nd down play. Wide open. Number 6, he steps out of bounds, but not before reaching about the 15-yard line, but we do have a penalty flag here. What did you see, Dovey?
You know, on the route, I didn't see anything.
You want to see that again?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go. Let's try to see a replay of that.
Are they saying it was a pick?
Might have been an illegal pick. No, the ball is staying here and moving even closer to the goal line. It will be 1st and goal from probably around this 5 or 6 yard line. 7-yard line, 1st and goal from the 7.
And that might be adding insult to injury. That could be that the defensive player who caused the collision thereby took himself out of the play, which is what freed up that receiver.
So Austria is now in a very good position with 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
We've got 3 lined up on the left.
And nobody's coming in because the
Oh.
Drop pass near the goal line. The Italians gave up on the pass rush that time because you have to start from 7 yards out, and if you jump, then you're not allowed to cross over at all.
Fell for the hard count.
So he just had to sit back and put another man in defense, in effect. But now we've got 2nd down. We're at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain in the first half. Up. And looking towards the end zone, back of the end zone, wide open. Caught, touchdown, Austria.
Let's see how he gets so wide open.
I'll announce his name as soon as I see a number. We don't have the number yet. Number is 6 for Austria. That's Lucas Gasho with the touchdown.
A simple crossing route in the back of the end zone, but sometimes it's hard for the defense to pick that up on the switch.
That makes it 20-14. 20-14, and the extra point coming up. This is going to be a 1-point attempt.
Sure, well, they're down by 6, so they need 1 to be less than a touchdown behind.
Right.
A tight bunch in the middle.
Touchdown! Extra point is good for Austria. And we're now at 20-15.
Really nice move by the receiver at the end to snatch that ball out of the air. It should have been thrown to the left, and instead it was thrown sort of directly at him, giving the defender a chance to make a play, but the receiver snatched out of there just in time.
So Italy, which has been perfect until now on offense, has one more drive this half. We're under 2 minutes. Plenty of time for a full drive if you need it. And so far, he's just been perfect. He's been picking apart. There's Simon, wide open in the middle of the field, good for about 8 yards. Austria has no answer right now for the Italian offense. They just can't get a stop. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure if they're going to get a stop, much of the game. Maybe they'll get one or two.
Well, if they don't here, that will put an awful lot of pressure on them, at halftime in the locker room, knowing that they have to be perfect, and maybe that might be enough.
If you don't get a stop, you don't win. Luke Zachrada is actually using time on the clock because they don't want to give Austria back the ball. They want to make sure that score or not score, they use up all of the clock left in this half. So we're going to have third and short. Italy's in a very good position now. They can go deep. They can wait for fourth down to try to get that first down. My sense of the Italian team is that they're going to try to get the first down now, short pass, and then have 4 shots to get the score.
Short shovel pass.
He gets the first down.
There's a flag at the end. Looks like holding.
So we have a penalty against the defense, illegal contact. That will certainly, they may have had a first down anyway, but that will give them a... So we're going to be first and goal for Italy. They have plenty of time remaining on the clock. They still have their 2 timeouts. And a shot there's still, Austria is not even getting close to stopping Italy on defense. Rossi is wide open and overthrown. Rossi's not that tall, but he was wide open. He just had to lay it into his hands, and he would have had a score. Rossi was totally open on that play. The legendary Italian center. Fabrizio.
And again, when Rossi gets open, he gets so wide open.
Fabrizio is wide open, but he gets overthrown. He gets so open that the quarterback panics, and he's not a quarterback to panic, just when it comes to throwing it to Fabrizio. There's a short pass, and he gets away for a touchdown. 84 for the Austrian. Sebastian Wolf made a huge mistake by going for the knockdown instead of containment. And once again, Jordan Boa with a touchdown.
You say a huge mistake. It's hard to really call that a mistake. When you're facing this sort of an offense, you have to take risks.
You got to take risks, but in that particular case, he overplayed it a little bit, and if he wasn't going to get the knockdown, it was going to be a touchdown.
Well, indeed it was.
And here we've got the extra point. This is a 2-pointer, I believe.
Sure, they're down, but they're up by 11, so
they're looking for a 2-pointer to go up by 2 full scores. There it is, wide open to number 84, Stefano Di Tunisi. And we have, what's the score now, Dove?
That's 28-15.
28-15. How's my over-under looking? We're getting there. I said 60 at the beginning of the game. We're now at 43, and we're not at halftime yet.
Right, Austria could still score again. I don't know how many seconds are left on the clock.
We're under a minute.
Oh, well under a minute.
Austria's got to look deep now, or at least work their way downfield and then go deep. There's a short pass, but it is deflected. So we're at second down. Second down from his own end zone. Looking deep. He's got a man. There was a little push. I saw a little push. The referees are not throwing the flag. I saw a push. Dovey saw the push. The referee did not see the push.
Watch at the end, the arm. The receiver was expecting it.
Well, the coaching staff of Austria agrees with us. We also saw a penalty on that play. It's not my job. We're just the announcers.
We make much mistakes. The refs can't make too many mistakes because they have no chance.
Austrian coaching staff saying that if
They were right.
if
they were
make
wrong.
a couple of mistakes and the ref make a couple of mistakes in the wrong direction.
Well, that was a huge play, and
was huge.
I thought that there was a pass interference. The referee was in position. They don't get all the calls right unless we're all wrong. We're never wrong, Dubby.
Not yet. Someday,
Snow was in.
allegedly.
It's a AFI thing back to our own leagues from many, many, many years ago. Only the old-timers will understand that. It has to do with a flag football game in which came down to a call by the ref on whether or not the offensive player had crossed the end zone and scored the winning touchdown, and the ref said no.
I feel bad for whoever those refs were, Steve.
Yeah.
But it's a nice opportunity to say hello to our dear friend Avi Steinhardt, who was
All right.
involved in that game.
We are now.
He was not the ref in that game.
Are we at halftime, Dubby?
Timeout.
Not quite halftime. Looked like a halftime because everybody seemed to have vanished from the field. Normally a timeout is, on the field.
And we had gone a little trip down memory lane.
We did. They gave us an opportunity to do that. I think that was an extra long timeout to give players a little time for some water break. It is brutally hot out here, I will say that.
Oh, it's not brutal. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Dovey says it's beautiful as he stands in the shade.
That was a false start by
False
the center.
start. It's coming back.
And makes a difficult situation marginally more so.
And we have a short gain for Austria.
So, Steve, a short out toward the sideline and stepping out of bounds with just a few seconds left, followed by presumably a Hail Mary. Does that remind you of anything the past couple of days?
Well, that's the thing. You can't throw the ball 60 yards. Nobody can reach that far. But if you get 10 yards and then another 10 yards in those final seconds, you can then get a good shot into the end zone. See, the Italians are all lined up back near the end zone. They're going to give them 20, 30 yards as long as they can get a stop before the goal line.
They literally have their
This must be the last play of the half.
Their entire defensive squad, besides the rusher, lined up just in front of the goal line.
Right. In the
40 yards
parlance,
downfield.
we call that 4 across at the goal
I
line.
think I see Gronkowski back there.
Waiting for the Hail Mary. Austria gave up one that gave Israel a win. Well, we now have a timeout from Italy, which wants to discuss, I don't know what. They seem to have been set up. I think they're going to come out in the exact same setup. It makes the most sense. Although you never know, you might see the Italians decide to put someone in the middle of the field to make it a little bit trickier for them to pass it downfield. Oh, and we have our A-team arriving to broadcast the next game. Josh Haston, all those Haston fans out there, your time is coming.
I think in the Italian huddle, they should just be saying one thing. Down. Knock it down.
Knock it-
Downwards, towards the ground.
Knock it down, avoid a score at all costs. You've got the game quite in hand in this first half at least, and you just don't want to avoid stupidity in the second half.
Do not volley the ball up into the air, downward.
No, you don't want to do
Gravity
that.
is your friend.
There's a pass back to number 83, who can now throw the ball into the end zone. He may have stepped over the line of scrimmage, but the ref
It's in
didn't
the
call.
air.
Almost another Hail Mary reception, but tipped away and falls to the ground harmlessly. There's an Austrian player shaken up. That will be halftime, ladies and gentlemen. And the score is Italy 28 and Austria 15. There's going to be a lot more scoring today in the second half, Dovey. This game is not over, but Austria is in a hole. Italy is playing exceptionally well. Austria has not gotten a stop the entire game. Italy is punching it in every time they get the ball. And Austria has scored twice, but that's not enough in this game.
And down by 13, you know you need offense, but really the key for Austria is coming up with a stop. It's the defense that has to make a stand and give the offense an opportunity to come back. If the defense can also help the offense by coming up with a pick or something, then that wouldn't hurt either.
All right, we're now on a break for halftime. Enjoy. We'll be right back. Don't forget to go into the Facebook and all that fun stuff.
Back for the second half. Austria down 28-15 with the ball, and inauspiciously start out with an incomplete pass on first down.
Austria's got their work cut out for them, down 28-15. And another short completion.
And Italy can certainly afford to give that up on second down.
Yeah, it'll be third and about 15. Still got a long way to go. Austria's got to
watch them sitting back in the zone here.
They've got to go downfield a little bit more than that.
Now they are going long. Wide open.
Wide open to number 37. Down to about the 5-yard line. That was Daniel.
Let's see what created that hole.
That was Daniel Hochleitner.
You've got most of the receivers going deep. One cuts across.
So Austria is now in a good position to cut the lead in half. Got first and goal from the 5-yard line. And can sense a little bit of pressure on the Italians right now. The Italian defense, their offense has not been pressured at all.
There's going to be
There's a sack.
There's a penalty though in the middle of the field.
And a penalty. The sack was called. The quarterback is claiming that his arm was hit before the sack.
But the really hard hit is the collision on the goal line, just inside the goal line.
So we'll wait and see what that call is. I imagine it was against the defense, unless there was like an illegal pick or something of that nature, but we'll wait for the call. Illegal contact, number 21 defense, so it'll be first and goal from the 1-yard line I mean, Austria has to be able to punch it in from here. If they don't, it'll be a huge demoralization. I mean, they've got first and goal from 1 yard out. They need this, and they need it quickly.
Yes, that's another interesting thing about this drive. It's been a very quick drive. Austria has been working pretty quickly between snaps, but most importantly, they had a bunch of huge gains.
Okay, here they have the short gainer, a bunch lineup. All four offensive players are on the line, standing right next to each other. There'll be quick cuts to the outside and probably down up the middle. And there's the guy, number 30. Oh, and he found him. I don't catch the number of the receiver yet, but it's a touchdown for Austria. Number 6, Lukas Gasal. It's his second touchdown, I believe, and that cuts the lead.
And as you said, a quick cut to the outside.
28-15. Sorry.
No.
Now they've scored, so it's 28-21, and they're going to go for 1 point. 28-21, down 7. They're looking to cut the lead to 6. Wide open. Caught. And that cuts the lead now to 28-22. So Austria has pulled within 6 points on its first drive of the second half. They're right in the game. But, Dovey, if they don't get a stop and Italy continues scoring every time they get the ball, there's no way to win.
That's it. It's meaningless.
So Italy, once again, will attempt to drive down the field. They've been successful every time they've been with the ball up until this point.
And that success just builds confidence, and you can see they do not look pressured at all. And going long.
Tipped at the last second and nearly picked off. He tripped at the last over the other player in order to not be able to get the
Watch this concentration at the
pick.
end nearly pay off.
That was a huge defensive play. So it'll be 2nd and 20 for Italy. And I think Italy has to stick with what has been working, which is the quick slants, the 7-8 yard gains. The quarterback is.
Yeah, that was an attempt at a real back-breaking move. If that had worked, it would have been extremely demoralizing for Austria after all their successful offensive drive to find himself in the same hole. But
so he went back to his reliable Mark Simon, who is definitely up there as one of the stars of the game. In fact, we're going to have our MVP balloting up there very soon. We'll have the 4 players that we believe are the candidates for MVP of this game, and then you guys got to vote. There's some really, really big talents in this game, but MVP is select 1. We have 3rd down and about 7. And wide open, number 19, Gianluca Santagostino.
And how does he get that wide open?
It's now 1st and goal for Italy.
And Austria looks like they're just a little bit too nervous on defense.
They're trying to figure it out. They haven't gotten a stop. They
have
need
to
a
step
stop.
up on 3rd and short. You have to step up on that.
Austrian bench making a lot of noise. In the end zone, wide open. To number 81, Claudio Corrado. Dovey, how did he get that wide open?
Well, let's watch. I'm not sure we'll see the back corner of the end zone.
So we've got 34-22 to Italy. They're back with a 12-point lead. And once again, Dovey, they have not been stopped the entire game. Well, you cannot win if you can't get a stop.
A command performance by quarterback Zaradka. And it goes to show on 1st down his willingness to take that shot on the bomb was because he had no concern whatsoever that he was going to be successful either way on this drive as he puts volume 2 of his notebooks back into his shorts.
Extra point is good. No, he dropped it.
Not.
Dropped it. Just out of my vision, but he dropped the ball at the last moment. That was Mark Simon, the most short-handed Italian receiver. So they don't get that point. It's actually could be an important point down the road. We're at 34-22, 12-point difference. So it's 2 scores. But remember those all-important extra points. If Austria scores twice, they could take the lead. But they first got
in a bit of a hurry up.
There's a short completion.
It turns into a medium gain. So that's
medium gain for number 6, Lucas Goschel. Got about a 7-8 yard gain. And a tip pass. Huge play for number 81.
That's at least his second of the day.
Claudio Corrado with another blocked pass. It's now going to put Austria under pressure because I would dare say, Dovey, if Austria does not manage to score in this drive, Italy can put it away the next drive. The game will basically be clinched. So Austria must keep this drive going. They have third and about 12 to go. And it's knocked down by number 21, Lorenzo Scaperotta. And we've now got 4th and 12.
Watch him sitting back in the zone, reading the play.
The game could be on the line right here for Austria. If you don't score here, you're putting yourself in a deep hole, with Italy taking possession.
And against an unflappable offense.
An unflappable, you haven't stopped even one time in an entire game. Big play for Austria. Knocked down in the middle of the field. There was no chance for a completion there. Italy takes over possession with the score 34-22. A 12.
Great defense here on this play.
Great defense.
It was perfectly positioned.
A 12-point lead. If they can extend that with another touchdown now, I would say that this game is all but decided, Dovey.
Yeah, at this point, Austria, I would say, needs their defense to come up with not just a stop, but maybe with a turnover or some points, or at least a turnover. And so far, that's looks unlikely.
And we've got a stop for just about 5 yards for the Italians.
Zaratka knows exactly what he has to do. Just move things along comfortably, not take any chances.
They've got an actual book in the huddle, Dovey.
It's a compendium. It's I think 4 volumes.
Yeah, but he's still reading as he's about to take a snap.
Taking notes there. I think he's adding in. He's asked for another divider.
I didn't see a pen. I don't know if he could take notes with. Oh, Fabrizio Rossi slips down after a short gain. So we've got 3rd and short.
That's all they need, though.
A big defensive play. Dovey, could they be getting a stop? Maybe they finally figured out the Italian offense. Austria is 1 down away from getting its first stop of the game.
I would say the Italian offense is just adjusted to meet their defensive expectations. Short, medium passes over the middle.
I don't know.
Austria did what they had to do on that play, but they're going to need a lot more than that.
He's still looking at the book, Dovey. Book is tucked back into his pants. Big play. 4th down. Wide open. Mark Simon once again, he goes back to, I could have called that play. Mark Simon is the most sure-handed receiver on the Italian team.
And you certainly could have executed that play, Steve, with Mark Simon there for you on the receiving end.
Look, he's not the biggest player. He's not the fastest player, but he gets into the right spot. He's like a Julian Edelman type. This guy is always open and sure-handed and a great, great target for Luke Zachrada, who is a tremendous quarterback, except he can't remember his plays and takes out that book every play. I don't get it. You got to remember plays. If you're a quarterback, you have to have some smarts. Again, Mark Simon this time dropped the ball. I think there was actually a little pull on his flag, perhaps, or something that just shook him at the last second.
Well, that was also a high degree of difficulty catch.
Mark Simon, though, he's a sure-handed receiver. I just sang his praises as the Italian Edelman. I mean,
you jinxed him, Steve.
He's got to hold on to that ball. We've got second down. They've still got 3 downs to get it into the end zone. I would bet on the Italians right now in terms of
you think the
punching
smart money.
it. Look, they haven't been stopped yet, and
with the ball a 12-point lead and not much time left, and haven't been stopped yet. Yeah, they could pull this one out.
This is a huge play. He's got his man open in the back of the end zone on a deflection. That was more luck than skill, but it counts. Number 84, Stefano Di Tunisi with the reception. I think that's put a nail in the Austrian coffin, so to speak.
At least if you're Austria, you can look back at this game and at that play and say, well, at least on that play we did everything we could and we just had some poor luck. I wouldn't say that was the story of the game, but that's a nice way of looking at it.
I wonder if it's the same guy that tipped it in the air on the Israeli Hail Mary that succeeded, because it was the same kind of thing.
Find a way to work that in, Steve.
Well, yeah, and you heard I was stuck in an elevator with 8 or 9 of their players, right, Dovey? Or I told that story already. A great catch in the back of the end zone.
Out of the back
of the end zone.
Get style points, though.
So we're at 40-22. Austria's going to have to be in a hurry up the rest of the way. They've got to score quickly, and then hope for a turnover. Otherwise, this thing is over. Austria is ready to go. They're going to be coming out fast and furious, winging it downfield. Here comes Austria. And there's a quick pass. The nerves are starting to set in. Austria is starting to look like the team that is. It realizes that it's all but over. And they're going to start getting a lot of pressure now as they attempt to fight their way back on this drive.
Well, only 4.5 minutes left. It could be beyond the feeling of pressure, and now just a question of desperation. Nothing to lose. May as well bomb it, see what happens.
And now is the time to...
And sure enough, he might have him.
Now is the time to vote for the most valuable player, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time. My bet is that it's going to be one of the Italian players because they are certainly walking away with this game 40-22. By the way, Dovey, I have succeeded in passing my predicted over and under, which I said was 60. We've hit 62, and we've still got 4 minutes left in the game.
Well, if this suddenly becomes a defensive battle, Steve, you will have almost hit the nail on the head.
I won it. I got the W. And that falls incomplete.
And
that was
sure
the promise.
Enough, the bodies into the broadcast
into the broadcast booth, but we caught them. We saved them from crashing and knocking all the
I sent a nice forearm shiver in there.
And you notice that Josh Haston didn't even move to help us. Nothing. He just
unflinching.
Stood behind, hoping to avoid contact. He knows what flag football is. It's a non-contact sport.
For some contact here, Steve.
That's Josh. He says he's looking for the contact. That man,
close as I get to getting on the field right there. Other than the halftime show the other day when Kenny and I threw the ball, which I'm still sore from.
Those were some nice
three catches that I caught.
And let me say about Josh Haston, who's with us now and is going to take over the broadcast.
Here's a double pitch, a triple pitch. One more for good luck.
Oh, that's out of bounds. That was coming towards me. I could have caught that. So let me just say about Josh Haston. Great announcer, as you all know. He was also a long-time player in American football in Israel, one of our legendary players, maybe one of our best players that is not in the Hall of Fame.
What's this maybe? And a couple of decades ago, my co-director at All-Star Israel Sports Camp.
So we're now at 40-22. Italy can pretty much just run the clock down or run it out on this drive.
Guys, I thought Austria was actually, when I saw them play first, I thought they were going to win this tournament. When I saw them day one out here on this field number one, they looked razor sharp. They were my prediction. If you go back and listen to all the broadcasts on YouTube, Facebook, American Football in Israel page, you will see, I think day one, I said these guys are the team to beat.
Well, you got it wrong, Josh.
I got it wrong. Well, that one Hail Mary, and it could have changed. It could have been the big difference.
Well, they lost now. They were just trounced by Italy.
Take nothing away from the Austrian team. They've been beaten here. I mean, presumably the score isn't final, but they've been beaten by a really unstoppable Italian defense. I think until someone does show that they can stop this Italian defense, everyone will go the way of Austria.
I think you're right. I think Italy has shown that they are a team that can go all the way. They're now going to be into the Final Four. We'll see who their match is in the Final Four, and they're going to be. It's going to take a lot to beat them as.
Their quarterback might be Steve, MVP of the tournament there. Luke, I forgot his last name. I know it's not Skywalker, but he is playing like a superhero right now.
Billy Zabka, I think.
Luke Zaradka, and you guys can still vote for him on the MVP category. He's our vote, but
seems to have a ringing
the viewers on Facebook. Vote. Check out the voting on Facebook.
Check out the voting on Facebook. Now's the time. This social media stuff.
He's got that playbook, of course. You've seen the journal, if you will, diary.
You missed Volume 2 came out of the shorts earlier in the game,
Looks like
Josh.
He stole that book from Henry Winkler there in The Waterboy, using all the plays.
So Italy is just trying to run the clock down, see the end of this game. We're almost at the end now. I think we're at about the 1 minute mark.
And now I'm getting a good look at that book. It's like one of those business card holders that has different index cards in each slot. I presume those are different plays.
That book might win co-MVP, guys.
Oh, Rossi, Fabrizio Rossi with a drop. He's had a tough game, actually, Fabrizio.
Well, I think he'll be satisfied with the outcome.
He is satisfied. Fabrizio's all about the team, all about the win. He's one of the oldest veterans still playing the game in this in international flag football. But he certainly is not the go-to guy anymore.
See these guys working so hard at the booth, Steve. You got one guy playing Sega PlayStation, another guy works for a Yes cable company installing cable here so these guys can watch TV as they work here today. That's what it looks like, but no, I'm just kidding. These guys are doing an amazing job.
Trick play.
Long pass towards the end zone, goes up, and it falls harmlessly incomplete.
Italy knows they're ahead, right?
Italy knows they're ahead. It's 28 seconds left. Why they went for a touchdown there, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it has to do with the history between those two countries.
I hope it was just trying to practice something for that could be necessary later. I'm sure they weren't trying to run anything up on the Austrian team.
Well, I can tell you the Austrians are not going to go. They're going to also try to score. They don't want to lose by this lopsided score. They're going to try to. Maybe not. Maybe they're just going to take a knee.
Took a knee. That's
the sportsmanlike way to do it. Not like the Italians did, but the Italians got the W, 40-22. Italy goes to the Final Four, and Austria will have to be playing for the 5th or 6th seed. Ladies and gentlemen, finalize those votes. Last chance to vote on our Facebook MVP balloting. I'm going to be turning the mic over for the next 7 or 8 or 12 hours, or as much football as we have left here, to Josh Haston and Dovey, and perhaps we'll have Danny Gortz joining you later. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. We'll be back for the next game.
Hey. Are we live? I have no headset. Are we live? And I'm here with Luke. Back. We got to move back. What, he's not tall enough? All right. Luke, so there's been a lot of talk about the play calling and especially the style of play calling. Can you give us a sneak peek at that playbook of yours, the legendary playbook?
I mean, yeah, we have a playbook with a plethora amount of plays in it. I mean, there's just about 125 plays that we have, and we just try and pick out ones that we want to use for certain defenses. And after studying film against Austria, we were running a handful of them, but we executed really well today, and that's what got us the win. And the defense had a tremendous game as well.
So I guess two specific questions. First of all, what's the meaning of the word plethora? And second of all, on the long bomb. The long bomb that almost scored. What was your thinking there? Were you thinking that their defense was coming up and that you had an opportunity to kind of break the game open with that bomb?
Plethora means a lot, and yes, and the bomb was
I knew that.
We wanted to try to take a shot on them. They were playing aggressive, especially since they were down. They were trying to get a pick six quick, so we figured we'd do a hitch and go. And their safety made a really good play in trying to recover and almost had an interception. So luckily, our guy was there to break it up, but that's why we took the shot there.
I'm looking forward to the next game. What do you expect?
I'm not even sure who we play. I think it's Israel.
Taking it one game at a time. Great attitude.
Of course, but I don't even know.
We'll check on the Facebook page, but ladies and gentlemen, you can certainly still feel free to vote for the game MVP. We've got one leading candidate right here. Thank you very, very much, and good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Stole that book from Bobby Boucher. Got the green book. Any idea who's playing your next, Toby?